The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Hey, good morning. I am Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, because this is where we explore our return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico de Haan.
And it's a gorgeous day, 77 degrees, downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. We hope you're having nice weather, and our prayers are going out to the people on the East Coast of the United States.
Yeah, they better be ready, that's for sure.
That's right. Be prepared. That's what we're
Folks,
talking about all the time.
Please pick up the Health Signals newsletter. I have a brand new one coming out next Tuesday. This is the one from September 5th.
How much protein do you really need?
Yeah,
There
you
is
don't
a
need a lot.
There is a math problem. Even Nora brought that up. She's really done some great plunging into the research. Remember we did that
Nora
on the one
Gagaris.
show? Yeah,
Yeah.
we did that on one show. Hey, you got your coffee nose. That's my buddy.
I always have coffee
I
nose in
know.
the morning. It's in the right place. And please pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, with over 310 cell-ready ingredients, all powered by...
Nature's miracle molecule, fulvic and humic acid. Gets the good stuff in.
And takes the bad stuff right out of there.
And give us a call if you're up and at it, 877-927-6648.
Wanted to start, well, first of all, I think we wanted to start with talking about the storm a little bit.
Yeah, I'm telling you. My nephew, he's out of the service now, but he's an Apache commander, repair, over all the guys that are repairing him. And he's going up there, I guess, with his company. That's part of the deal. They're going up there to help transport people.
Yeah, I heard some of the neighborhood people are saying that people are coming down to Florida to get away from the hurricane, which is kind of unusual.
It seems so oxymoron-ish. Yeah, a friend of mine moved from here. Well, you know Jen Devlin. She was on our show, Celtic Complexion, remember? She moved up to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I saw someone make a comment when she was, buttoning down the hatches. You know, she has a glamper on that she rents out for vacation rentals.
Oh.
A trailer. It's kind of a glamorous camper. And that was kind of what they were just saying. Hey, you left Florida, thought you'd be done with that, and there you are in North Carolina having to worry about it. But seriously, be safe. It's better to be out of the location of these storms. It definitely looks like it's turned into a big one.
Yeah, it's big. It's definitely larger, and thank goodness the winds have gone down a little bit. Now it's a Cat 2, so that helps a little bit. But it's going to be a long duration, so you really have to batten down the hatches and just ride it out. If you're there, if not, you're probably going to be away for maybe 4 or 5 days, which is not fun either. But the most important thing is that in those barrier islands that you get out of there, because the storm surge, that's just basically a wall of water. That it's kind of like the never-ending wave. It just comes in and just. What happened last year with in Marathon was, we have some friends down in Marathon, and there was about a 5 or 6 foot storm surge, and literally the water just came into, of course they were on stilts, but the whole downstairs was completely trashed because the water was there, just moved away across the island.
There's no way around it.
So I always say you need to be prepared for everything, and this is one of the things that if you're in the area of where these storms hit, which is a broader area, it seems these days, that you have to have some kind of plan ahead of time. And certainly my wife Ellen and I have done that to our home. When we first moved there, we put new doors and new windows in. We tried to hurricane-proof as much as possible. We got these Bahama shutters which close in. We got all steel doors. Then we got our steel roof. And, we just planning on every year spending a certain amount of money to get ready in case stuff like this happens. Because I don't want to leave the house. That's the worst thing. Being in a shelter, which I've never been in, I'm sure that's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be there.
And being in other people's houses, that feels odd too. In fact, it feels better if you have somebody in your house, because at least you're there in your house and you're helping somebody out.
And that you can open it up for
Yeah,
people.
so, well, you have to be prepared, and you have to have a certain amount of food on hand, usually 3 to 5 days. You have to have enough water, a gallon per person per day. Yeah, that's about it. So, anyway, I have this article I found. It took 5 years now, but the ocean cleanup system is heading for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah,
Remember?
we discussed this young guy, right?
Yeah, well, I think we discussed this young guy. He was, I think a couple of years ago, he was in the process of making this, and he was out diving actually in the Mediterranean, and he found a lot of garbage out there, and he says, you know, we should start cleaning this stuff up, and he came up with an idea to do that. So
Yeah, it was 5 years in the making. The ocean cleanup. It was the brainchild of this. He's a young Dutchman. That's not nice.
Of course.
And his name is Boyan Slat.
Slat.
And he saw plastic trash pollution in the waters in Greece, and this was when he was diving, and he said, what's up with this? You know, he was in high school, and he became obsessed with finding a way to help clean up the world's oceans.
Yeah, and he actually had a TED Talk talking about this, and so he found a crowd-funded seed money for this. And on Saturday, he went on the bow of the ship, and he's towing this contraption, which is basically some floats with stuff hanging down from it to kind of gather up all this plastic goo that's sitting in there, and there's a big mess of it out there. That's
So
for
after
sure.
5 years of creating it in his mind, you know, it came from a creative thought
Yeah.
into making it, bringing it to fruition. Now it's going to get out there and start doing the thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll probably be able to watch.
So this is
go
kind of
on.
an experiment. Here he is towing it out here with the barge, and you can see the system
Yeah, it's called
here.
the ocean cleanup, appropriately.
Yeah.
And it's moving through the San Francisco Bay Area right there, passing underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. That was on September 8th. And it's an ambitious idea, as a quote says. It was a simple and elegant idea. Generally, the best ideas are. And as a result, people were attracted that wanted to be a part of and be helpful to this. That's the way we are.
Yeah, and
We're
it's-
collaborative.
That's for sure. The team is based out of Rotterdam in the Netherlands, a center for marine engineering, but the prototype was built in San
It
Francisco
actually
Bay.
was built in San Fran. Okay.
Yeah, because that's where the problem is, you know, it's kind of halfway between Hawaii and San Francisco. I
Yeah, the
think.
big plastic. And what is the size of that plastic ocean?
It's pretty
again?
large. They said about the size of Texas.
That's a great map. Yeah, there you go. You can sort of see it does look about the size
Yeah.
of Texas.
He said we went through different cycles coming up with an idea to build it and test it, break it, improve it, and then get a new idea and start all over. He said the results have been extraordinary. The ocean cleanup system is a passive system that consists of 2,000-foot floating boom made out of plastic piping 4 feet in diameter. Once deployed, it will form into a broad U shape. Below the looms, a 9-foot skirt will corral the plastic trash as it floats to the surface. It says currents and waves push the trash into the system.
And then they're going to send another ship out every 6 to 8 weeks to kind of take what they've
garbage ship.
harvested,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then I guess and then from there, that plastic will go to recycle centers, I'm hoping.
Yeah, they're gonna take it to a dump out there too.
Hey, remember, I think they were offering as a fundraiser a bracelet that was made out of recycled plastic.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was one of the fundraisers they used, you know, to
Cool. Anyway, I think it's a cool idea. We'll keep track of this and see
Yeah,
if it
let's
does clean
keep
it up.
watch.
We definitely need the cleanup, that's for sure. Folks, this is a good time to, during the break, pick up some Health Signals newsletter and also, of course, our Primal Edge.
That's right.
This is the organic stuff you want to start your day with, believe me. So we'll be right back.
Be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And on Tuesday, Nico and I were talking about the Frankenfood yet to come. And we want to kind of go over some information we found on Bloomberg that said America's eating habits are changing faster than fast food can keep up. And that's discouraging, because why are we changing our eating habits? And why is there this industry that's going to meet the demand? Because there's profit there.
Well, that's certainly true, because the fast food, and now they say fast food is becoming faster, so there's more processing going on than ever.
Well, and also more than that, Nico, I think we're getting where we're just trying to fit eating into what we're doing. People, I mean, how about this whole Uber Eats phenomena? People don't want to leave their house, so they pay more or less a driver to go get their own food because they don't want to miss their movie. They got their Netflix streaming. They're watching a series. A lot of grocery
stores are doing this too. You know, Publix right now has a little program. You can call them up, give them your order.
Right.
The day
and I don't mind that, because I think a lot of groceries are kind of heavy and awkward, and maybe for some older people that's a great idea, so they don't strain themselves. It's not that different from shopping online and having it come, but the food that's fresh, it just seems so. I don't like to eat out of containers. I like either being served or cooking it myself.
And if you're going to have food brought to you, it's probably going to be in containers. If you're doing fast food, definitely containers. And there's lots of easy, convenient ways to use a microwave and things like that to get fast food, no doubt about it. What they're saying in this article is that it's a combination of things. There's something like the TV, you know, convenience of Netflix, you know, so you want to binge watch things, you can, because now all of a sudden 10 episodes are there, so you call for the food to be brought to you. So that's one of the things too. The other thing is that more than ever that we're not cooking as much as we used to. So we're
It says
relying on the
82% of American meals are prepared at home, more than were cooked 10 years ago, according to restaurant researchers. So people are staying at home, whether they're cooking the food and buying it at healthy stores, or they're ordering it in. They're just not venturing out.
That's right.
They don't
Well,
want to sit and wait for
Well,
a
there's a whole
seat.
class of people that are eating out, and this is the upper middle class of the United States, does eat out a couple times a week to nice restaurants, so you're getting decent food. But there's a whole population that's in the lower class that doesn't eat out at all, unless it's a fast food thing, where,
Right.
where you're going driving the kids to school and you're stopping at McDonald's or whatever. There's a whole class of people doing that. But the shift is weighing on the fast food industry, they said, because eateries are already struggling with higher labor, rent costs, and they're passing these things on to the consumer. The other thing that's happening too, of course, these companies like Jack in the Box and Shake Shack and Wendy's and McDonald's are getting less and less people in there.
Exactly. Or more and more are going more towards a drive-through concept, right?
Right,
Less
right.
less dine-in and more dine-and-dash
Yeah,
type
and
of thing.
certainly if you've been eating out in the last year, you've seen that the prices are rising. I noticed that we were paying somewhere around $50, $60 to go out, and now it's around 80 or something. And if you
I
want
see that
to
too,
go to a
Nico.
better place, then it's 120 to 150.
Especially if you have a cocktail.
Well, especially if you have a cocktail, no doubt about it. Those are, and that's where they make their money. Claire Tinney, who's 32 years old, a
Chicago nurse.
Yeah, nursing student who has 2 children, says she used to eat out with her husband a couple times a week, but cut back to once every 2 weeks.
And I think the people that are having kids, this is a big issue. Taking kids out. And I'll tell you another reason why I don't think they want to go out when they have kids is you see young couples today, they're more likely to not want to be, they'd rather be home because
With
they've
their
got all
kids.
the electronics to entertain the kids. Because we didn't have iPads and things to entertain our kids at the restaurant, but you see that happening now. That doesn't make me happy, as you saw my post. Did you see my post on Facebook?
I haven't been on Facebook.
It said, today's kids are more likely at age 7 to be able to name 7 multinational companies' names
Well,
than the trees in their backyard.
yeah.
That's kind
I
of
can see
scary.
that.
I think that's scary.
Meal kits, delivery systems, and different appliances like the Instapot, and I use an Instapot, which is a great thing to use for sure. There's a company called Blue Apron, which is a meat kit company that has had mixed success.
Oh, it's a meal kit.
It's a meal kit. Oh,
I thought you said meat. I was like,
yeah,
are we
it's a
having more
meal
funny?
kit. Meat kit, that's my meal.
Right.
That's for sure. 10 years ago, you had to chop your own onions, and now you can have it chopped for you by the store. The grocery store will do it
Which,
for you.
by the way, don't ever do that. You know why?
Well, for me, it's as soon as you cut it, it's already starting to deteriorate. So
That's exactly right. And the onion is a natural antibiotic. And they say if you're having an onion for dinner, dice up the onion you need, and then you end up with another one, and people put it in the refrigerator. Well, it's basically creating an antibacterial environment in your refrigerator. That's why the pungent smell. Better off just to put the remainder onion in a bowl with water and let it pick up bad bacteria,
Oh, that's a good idea.
bad guys,
Cool.
and then throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't eat it. Don't save it. That's why, hot dog stands that have pre-cut onions are really a breeding ground for bacteria.
Wow.
Because the onions are attracting the bad stuff, which is good. But we don't want to eat them afterwards.
That's for sure. So Chick-fil-A is selling chicken meal packages at 150 of its restaurants in Atlanta for the first time. They can grab one through the drive-in for $15.89. And
you mean a family pack, more
Yeah,
or
it's
less.
kind of a family pack, chicken parmesan or enchiladas in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They have a test that lasts 3 months. So people are making changes, and this is the reason is we're not going out as eat too much.
Right.
And when we do go out to eat, it tends to be more towards the fast food or convenient type of things instead of the real good restaurants, which are very pricey for sure.
And that is a hard thing because probably the higher quality foods, of course, are at those other restaurants. But I
Yeah.
think that what we're seeing is there's an article in here that I wanted to maybe cover, Nico, if you can find it, since we're having a little technology issue on my side today. There was some information regarding the different chemicals that we have.
10,000 chemicals in the food. Yeah, this is something that I saw last week and kind of put it in there because I knew we'd be talking about this sometime in the next couple of weeks, and this is the day, I guess. Let me get this up here. 10,000 chemicals in food and packaging. And this is an article that is out of GreenFed Middle.
Yeah, GreenMed Info.
Yeah.
And GreenMed Info, as you guys know, when we share information from GreenMed Info, it's the world's largest repository on database on natural medicine, natural cures, and the research going into these products. Obviously, there's not a big multinational that's supporting us on those areas, but the information there is always well researched.
Yeah, so we're talking about the artificial food colorings is the number one thing I think of when we think about things that are in our food. And numerous studies have linked the AFCs, which are the artificial food colorings, to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And this is pretty much, you can see this in our society heavily. I'd say today a good half of the children probably are have these types of things.
Suffering from focus-related issues, and it's truly related to their environment, the food they're eating, the exposure to the stimulating colors. And there you go, food coloring. What do colors do? Blue excites. Red creates intensity. So, we can see the tie-in between our light and our food.
Yeah.
We got to take a short break. We'll be right back. Pick up some of the Primal Edge in our Health Signals newsletter and stay healthy with us.
We'll be right back, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. And we're talking about these chemicals, AFCs, which are artificial food colorings, and the endocrine disrupting effects of these additives. Endocrine.
The endocrine system, our hormonal system. Yeah. I just, because it sounded like indoctrinated,
Yeah,
but
well, I have trouble with pronouncing some words for sure.
But the endocrine disrupting effects, I mean, it affects all of our hormone systems.
Yeah, it's found in food, and our particular concern in early life, when the development reprogramming of organ systems is susceptible to the permanent and lifelong disruption. So especially for children when they're growing and your organs in your brain are growing pretty fast, you know, compared to the standard when you're in your 20s and 30s. So this is the time when all this stuff is forming, and now we have all these chemicals in our food that is disrupting this.
Well, let's take it a step farther, too. I mean, there are those of us that believe that much of the gender issues, you know, there's the argument, well, they're born that way, but then are they, or is it the hundreds of additives? And there's a lot of research that shows that the ingredients and additives in food and in vaccines are disrupting the endocrine system and creating some...
And especially, of course, we're talking now, we're probably 3 generations in this. You know, people born today have been in it all their lives.
So we're Pottinger's cats.
Yeah, you and I have been into it maybe 3/4 of our lives.
Right.
Our children all our lives, and the children that are coming all their lives. So when you're born into this system and you have the reproductive area going, of course we've talked about how people can't get pregnant anymore, but the other side of it is, are we changing genders? And is it becoming more and more so? Yeah, maybe we're born that way, that's fine. And I accept people that, you know, you want to be something, you can be whatever you want. That's what the United States is all about.
But is it truly that, or have we allowed their feedback loops to become a little confused? And that's what I believe.
And I think that's the trend, is that where I'm going to, and I've been studying this for a long time, because we had we had talked about this in some college psychology classes about this. That's when they first really started talking about food colorings back in the 60s, and they linked it directly to the growth pattern of males and females, and maybe changing along the way in vitro.
Well, if you follow my friend Jason Christoph, he posits that there's really a plan to kind of interfere with the alpha male, the hormonal system that produces the alpha male, the protective male, and create more beta males, and that's for more control of the
Well, it seems like a
populace.
government would like that if that's the case.
He's got a lot of good evidence on that. I think he's worth following.
Well, it's definitely going on, and this, you know, whether somebody's planning this or not is really, to me, doesn't make any difference, because we can protect ourselves against these things by eating.
We can make choices.
We can make
exactly,
choices,
and that's what we're really all about, isn't it? Because infant and children have higher relative exposures because they take in a greater dietary intake of these additives per pound, relative. And their metabolic, or that's also known as their detoxification, or their mitochondrial health systems, are still developing. And the key organ systems that are undergoing substantial change and maturation are very vulnerable during these early ages. One of the reasons why Nico and I are so passionate about understanding the importance of getting the body the mineral substrate it needs to be a catalyst for enzyme reactions in the body. And also a reason we think it's so important to use these natural mineral substances to do the binding. We need to be able to absorb the nutrition we get, but we've also got to bind the toxins. Fulvic and humic is a substance that we put into the Primal Edge for that purpose, because it's not just what we're getting or not getting, it's what we're getting that we don't need, that we need to package and get rid of.
Yeah, and the author does mention in this is that there's a lot of these different types of chemicals out there, but this is kind of besides the GMO thing that we often talk about. So, you know, we have one type of insult here, but then we also have the GMO insult. So today it becomes even more important, because 20 years ago we didn't really have the GMO stuff.
And that's a very good point, Nico, because we can take that a step farther. When you and I were kids, you got maybe 6 vaccines. You know, I got maybe 10 My kids got maybe 20, now they're getting 60-something. The
And all
insult,
before 3 or 4 years old.
the
so.
insult to injury is compounding. And since all of these, the healthy reaction to any of these situations is controlled by our ability to detoxify, we know that all of these substances are really getting in the way. And unfortunately, there's quite a bit of lax regulation and conflicts of interest, Nico.
Yeah, there is. The FDA is a regulatory system that approves the overseeing of these food additives, and here are some examples. The FDA reliance on guidelines that are inadequately protecting children. So it's given that they may receive relatively higher doses. This is what you were talking about. We're giving them the same dose in the food.
Right, and they're not.
And children may be eating more than their parents. A lot of them. when they're
Oh,
growing.
especially some of the Fruit Loops and these kind of things. And they also fail to consider the cumulative and synergistic cofactor effects of food additives. You know, and this is true in pharmaceutical medicine. They may say a medicine is effective, but they haven't tested how that medicine is effective in Jane, who's on 4 other ones, and Bob, who's on 10 different ones.
Right.
And so the testing does not see how these things interact.
Well, they also the testing really doesn't show you how much you're eating, perhaps.
And I want to make the comment, the FDA does not consider cumulative and synergistic impacts of food additives in the context of other chemicals, despite their legal requirement to do so. And that's my argument. We're expecting the fox to guard the hen house. The FDA is the fox, and it's guarding the hen house, and the hen house are all these chemical manufacturers.
And of course, we see a lot of movement between the private sector and the FDA. So as soon as your job is over at the FDA, you may be going back to the company that you were regulating.
Oh, it's an open door policy,
Right.
swinging door. You know,
Right.
if you help us get some stuff passed, we'll put you on the board. And we see all of this really increasing income being earned by these people. And the other thing is, much of the toxicology testing fails to take into account the low-dose exposure or the cumulative effect, i.e. many pesticides are fat-soluble. So we don't flush them out. Our body says, I don't like this, it's weird, I'm going to stick it on my booty because there's lots of fat there, and there you go.
Well, there's the other thing. Now we have a lot of people that are overweight. Probably about 1/3 of the population seems to be obese right now. And of course, when these chemicals come into your body, they want to hide. Your body
Exactly.
wants to get rid of it, so it's
It
going to
doesn't.
store
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't know. It wants to get rid of it, but it can't.
But it can't.
Because the
It gets rid of
detox.
some.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
detox pathways aren't well.
Yeah.
And much of the time, that's what I explain to people. When your fat stores are sore, I mean, you know, women carrying weight in their thighs. You rub the thighs, we're going to be a little sore. We're storing stuff there.
That's where the chemicals are stored. So when you go to lose weight, then you have that chemical detox that's happening. Another way to discourage you from actually losing weight because you feel so bad.
That is a great point, Nico. That's why we want to bind them and get them out.
So that first 10, 20 pounds comes off pretty easily, but then you start getting to the toxins and it becomes much, much harder.
Yeah.
So
we'll be
stick
right
around,
back.
folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. This article got my attention. You can see on the telestrator it says, "Is it time to shed a tear for Big Pharma?" Nope, it says. And the article said, "Panic in Big Pharma worldwide." And it's in the Bolin report. And let's give you a little background on this article before we go through it. It appears to be a planet Earth groundswell where, and especially in Germany where it all started. Remember, the pharmaceutical company had its beginning with Bayer during the Nazi war times. And kind of what's been going on when German mainstream media, globalist media, decided to attack German anti-vaxxers. Someone involved in the Bolin report, Karma Singh, created a counter attack by being interviewed on another TV media, kind of swinging a 1-2 punch at Big Pharma right in the face in typical unrelenting Bolin report style. So, you know, for some of you, this might be a little more in-depth. But this is, this is not just about the millions of young Muslim men imported into Germany and the rest of Europe. I think this is interesting to see another, thought of it without the people's permission, but about the globalist effort to create a single government system using healthcare as the cornerstone. And I think when you put the pieces together, you see that the worldwide healthcare system and a lot of the movements we've had in healthcare is not truly about providing universal healthcare. It's about, again, universal control. And it really says that the global effort to create a single government system using healthcare, and that system is a drugs-only healthcare world. You will continue to see alternative healing and so forth being attacked as this movement moves forward. So.
It's an interesting article for sure. I had trouble following it, but the little video that's in here, it's called Achtung Fake News in Mainstream, which is attention, fake news in mainstream, I believe.
Yeah, it just goes to show that, well, there's people all over the world that are questioning their news sources and not necessarily relying on the mainstream media's information about drugs and so forth. And it really, they kind of covered some of the points in this was that the first medical experiments in the 1920s that were leading to construction and the use of Auschwitz and to their financing and promoting Adolf Hitler and his successor, Helmut Kohl, into power, the pharmaceutical manufacturers, they actually gained a dominant position in the politics of the entire First World. And it's very interesting. I think...
Well, it's the way the news spin things. Here we have another thing. So first we have the accusation that vaccination opponents are unreasonable and that they contradict scientific discoveries from a position of ignorance. It is the opposite, however, which we have the case here. The leaders of the anti-vaccine movement are, for the most part, people who have deeply studied the matter scientifically.
And higher education.
And have studied this, and they find the findings very problematic. And there's a lot of people, doctors, maybe they're not part of this regime that has created it, but they know what they're talking about. And, you know, so this is just one of the things that the news is putting out is that, well, first of all, they have the advertisers. So you have to understand the process here, because first we have the advertisers that are going, and now you have a news item that maybe the people who are manufacturing that particular item say, well, you know, that's kind of against us, and you're talking, and maybe it is truthful, but it's, you know, we're trying to sell this stuff. Come on. So they'll get a call from somebody and say, hey, listen, you know, that story you said, let's tone it down a little bit. Let's put a different aspect on it. Because here I have, let's tear these people down a little bit. So you get pressure, and this is why I like programs like No Agenda with Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak, because they go through things and they deconstruct it. They may not always be right, but at least there's somebody looking out and saying, and what they deconstruct is the news, kind of like we do. We do it just on the health mostly. But we want to give you both sides of this coin, is when a company is promoting something and then all of a sudden they have a new story that doesn't go along with that, they're going to get a call from that sponsor and say, hey, tone it down. And this is the way our news is controlled.
Right, exactly. And so I think that what we're seeing, I think, is interesting in this article, and we can go on from here. It is an interesting article and perspective, is that other countries are also feeling that the information they're getting is in support of the big corporate agenda for pharmacalization of our world. Yeah. And I think that that should be something that we're all concerned about and also hopeful of as more and more people wake up. You know, in Europe, you do not see advertisements for erectile dysfunction or heart medicine or blood sugar medicine.
Well, in fact, they do not advertise any prescription drugs at all.
That's what I mean.
Only in New Zealand and this kind. Here's another example. He says, what is clear here is that smallpox was a matter of poor hygiene. And if we look at Northern Europe, smallpox disappeared at the end of the First World War, more than 30 years before the World Health Association began their program of eradication by vaccination.
Right.
So these are the things that you always talk about, is that when the disease is already on a downturn, this is when the vaccine works really well.
That's right. You know, the point is made that vaccination is a proven science, and that's utter nonsense. And the very first so-called vaccine was developed at the end of the 18th century by Dr. Edward Jenner in southwest England for smallpox. And although this initially appeared to be a solution in the smallpox problem, which had killed tens of thousands of people each year, it very quickly became clear that the true effect of the vaccine was to spread smallpox rather than to stop it. And that's my concern today. I like to encourage people to really protect their healthy, unvaccinated children from the shedding of vaccinated children and the vaccinated members of their families.
Yeah, and of course, people who are vaccinated always say, okay, you're unvaccinated, so you're the threat. But if the vaccine works,
then why would there be a threat?
There wouldn't be a threat.
No. And unfortunately, it's the complete opposite, folks. Many of the vaccines today, not all, but many of them do, in fact, create a shedding where the vaccinated person is exposing healthy people to them, which actually could be a good thing, because you know, a lot of these diseases were designed to educate our immune system. We want immune system education.
That's true.
you know.
Yeah, in fact, the book I'm reading talking about the English and their colonies, and they found that people were moving to the island, man, they get really sick, and then all of a sudden, the ones who recover never get sick again from that disease. You know, so they get that natural immunity that the population who was there already had.
That's right. And really, quite frankly, it was probably our settlers when we came here that created so much of the disease that spread through the natives.
Well, the stuff I read is that by the time that the white man got to the Mississippi, the disease went through the whole country already. So, I mean, probably half the population of the indigenous people of America died before we got, you know, a quarter of a way across. You know, we didn't even get to the Mississippi River probably. So, I mean, that's pretty well proven.
Yeah, well, this is, so going on, you know, we mentioned that this disease, it really shows that many of the other countries, the way that they're pushing and really trying to control people through the pharmaceutical arm of so-called health care, we need to be careful.
Yep.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back to the show. In our final segment here, I'd like to talk about walking. Why
I
walking
love walking.
might be the best exercise there is. And of course, we are Homo erectus. We came from that. Walking machines. That's what we are.
And really, in fact, I think, you know, nothing works better than to keep your machine working.
Yep.
And perhaps maybe some of these other activities, like long-distance running, is stressful for the machine.
It certainly could be, especially if you do it every day and do big mileage. Maybe if you run 5 miles or maybe even 10 miles, might be not too bad. But if you start going up from there, then it really starts causing a stress. And this is what I did for 30 years.
And
I ran
especially
a lot.
if you're out of alignment, right, Nico? I mean, if you're riding on one tire full of air and the other tire is not, you're going to have a breakdown.
And in running, this is very prevalent. I mean, it can make a little bit difference. You take your toe in or out just a little bit, and that changes your gait. And then over a 20-year period, your knees and your hips are going to feel it.
And I'm sure that applies to walking too, but I like this story.
Not as much.
I like this story, and I like this picture because it reminds me of my hikes when I was out in Tahoe with my son Austin. We spent a great deal of time walking.
And if we're walking in that type of terrain, then that's a heck of a lot better for us than if we were walking in the city, but walking anywhere is good.
Yes, I agree. And this guy's talking that wrote the article, Brad Stolberg, he mentions that, he has a regular walk path where he lives out in California near Oakland, and that he often sees this gentleman Ken, and it's like clockwork, same as my guy I see walking every morning, and but that he stopped to ask Ken his age, and he said he was 90-something, and when he was asked his secret, he said he's still doing what he's doing. He told me that he's been doing what he's always doing, and that's walking.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that same Tuesday. I was in jiu-jitsu, and they announced my birthday, 74, and had a few new people there, and it's kind of cool that to be older guy in there and still doing, being active and showing what is possible for people. So it's a good thing, and walking has been part of my life. When I was a kid, I walked everywhere if I wasn't on my bike, and even as a teenager, I really didn't go to a car in Canada. We really couldn't afford a car. So through most of my high school, I did a lot of walking. I didn't like the bus. I even rode the bike a few times, being shamed for it by my people. But walking is the thing that will definitely keep you healthy. Walk every single day. It's fine. It's what my parents did. It's what we did all our lives. It's healthy. It's fun.
It's what turned us into the human walking machine.
And it's a detox, too. Thanks for sticking around, folks. We'll see you on the next show.
We'll see you next week. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.